Hey, it's Junkman from VintageRock.com, and here we are at NAMM 2019. We're actually outside the halls over here at the Garden Center in Anaheim, California. And something I've been wanting to do, I've got the entire guys with me. I have Little Caesar with me, man. This is awesome. Guys, welcome.
Well, good to be here.
Yeah, man. Big year for you guys. Coming up, 2019 is going to be great. You got the brand new release of 8, which is the 8th record that you guys have come out with. You got some new members. You got a lot of stuff going on. You got a big tour going on. First off, I want to talk to singer Ron and ask him about, again, tell me, dude, about plans for 2019 for Little Caesar, especially with the record 8. Tell us about 8.
Well, 8, we just went in and had a whole lot of fun making a record. It was really easy. It was really fun, and I think it translates, and a lot of critics love the record. We're getting in top 10 lists for releases, and so we're just really sort of humbled and grateful for that. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be we're trying to get out and do more markets in the U.S. because we did a lot of stuff in Europe for like the last 6-7 years. Yeah. So we're going to, be flying in and hitting some more shows in the States because our fans keep screaming for it. And we're just having a great time. We all get along great. We're all musically linked together, and I think it's been just a whole lot of fun. So it's great.
Well, I love, again, I've talked to you guys. I've known you guys for a long time, and I'm always just so blown away by how much each member brings to the Little Caesar family, man. And you each bring a different part. And you got some new members since, the last record came out. And, we got Pharaoh on bass, and we got Mark on guitar. So, again, you got new guys in the band. We'll start with Mark. First off, dude, how did you get the gig with Little Caesar? And tell them a little bit about your background and, again, what you bring to this band. Dude.
That
was lovely.
Where do I begin? That was 2 questions, so I wasn't sure which one to answer first. I used to play with Bang Tango for a while, and I've been playing with a bunch of other bands around town and staying busy with that, and hooked up with Ron and Lauren about Little Caesar, and just joined in on the new record and had a blast helping to record that and play on that, and looking forward to doing more.
Now, were you really familiar with like their old school catalog? Was it like a seamless thing, or was it one of those ones where, I'm going to have to learn a lot of songs real quick and it's going to take me a while?
No, it was pretty seamless. I mean,
it's not like learning Dream Theater songs. I know that, but I mean, at the same time, there's little things you gotta get in there,
They're in the wheel. Yeah,
you fit right.
Right. Their music already was the style I loved anyway, so it wasn't anything out of the ordinary that I was like, what is this? It wasn't, in 9/8 going, I can't figure this out.
Yeah.
No, it's good rock and roll, and it makes you want to play, and it's fun to play. So it's been a blast learning the songs and playing with these guys, and I look forward to doing it.
Well, it's great to see you a member of this team. I've followed this band for so long, and again, at first when you guys came out with the record called 8, I thought it was because of the number of guitar players that you've had in this band.
Yes.
So, because it's pretty close to that. It's like 8 or 9, right? They keep like exploding like Spinal Tap drummers, But
Exactly.
The other thing is Pharaoh, man. Pharaoh, dude. I mean, you were replacing Fidel, Fidel was a longtime bass player with you guys, and he left the band, and we're like, who's going to replace him with his high vocals? You were like a seamless fit, man. And, again, you're not exactly a Little Caesar, but, dude, I mean, you fit right into this band so perfectly. How did your relationship with the band, how did you get involved, first off?
Me and Ron back in the Four Horsemen days in the mid-'90s. Okay. That's so we were pretty on for our vocals.
Rocking
together.
is my business.
Exactly. So we had plenty of time playing together, a lot of vocal stuff together, and we were pretty on for all that. So dropping in was pretty seamless as well. They were like, learn these songs. I'm like, cool, and learn the background vocals for them as well. And
well, your vocals, like I said, it just fits in right into that old school Little Caesar sound, just seamlessly, man. I mean, it was like, you can't even. It's like the perfect part of the band, They couldn't have picked the more perfect guys, what I'm trying to say. So.
Well, thank you, sir. Good stuff. It's fun stuff. I mean, just rock out and sing and have a blast, and it's good stuff.
Well, in terms of the song stuff that you've got your own style for this band, and I love it. I've described it many times to people. Like you put a little Stones in the mix, and you put a little of this, and you put a little punk, and each guy brings a different thing to the band. I know your roots are in soul music. Tom's roots are in like glam. Yours is in like Detroit punk. Lawrence, real glam. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mark obviously was like in the '80s, metal stuff. With Bang Tango and things like that. Farrell, obviously, he's got different influences as well. How do you make it seem so well? How do you guys get all on that right page about that? Can you tell me, Lauren?
I think the song kind of dictates how that goes, but everyone's music vocabulary goes back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and I think we pull all from this kind of the same places of those great treasures in blues rock, hard rock kind of stuff,
It's so great because knowing all those influences, man, I could see it in every single song, man. You can go from like a country tinge tune, you can go from a real punk beat, you can go just that down and dirty. The way I describe it to other bands, if I hear something like that, I go, it's kind of that Little Caesar-y kind of thing, And seriously, it's like having your own style on that. And I can't say enough about it, man. I love what you guys did and have been doing for many years, and I love the fact that you're keeping it alive, because there was a couple of years we didn't have any Little Caesar,
No. Well, yeah, when you go through the corporate side of the music business, and it can chew you up, and it chewed us up. We always stayed a family, and we always stayed close to each other. And like getting back to, we just miss playing with each other, and then it just opened the door for all the things that. Like you talk about all the stuff we throw into the music. We're fans of music before we're makers of music. We sit around like 14-year-old kids and talk about, this and that. And we should do a song in this kind of vein. And it's all in reverence. And then, we throw a couple of things in there that kind of take it to a new place. But we've never broken new ground musically. We never tried to. But since the inception of the band, we felt that there was a whole lot of music that a lot of bands like in the 80s and the pop metal and the hair metal days kind of went away from. So we've kind of since then been taking all our, stuff, and it's like, hey, Lauren, why don't you put that choppy, like punk kind of thing over that? And then, Mark, coming in now with, he's got a real sort of this Southern rock, and he's just got such a wide vocabulary. And you mix the two together, and then Pharaoh is like the Berkeley-trained musician, and he's locking it down. And Tom gives us a solid beat, and then I squeak a bit over it, and it's great.
Harmonize the squeak.
Yeah, and then he gets a harmony. It's something fifth up from the squeak, and it's great.
And it just seems like just such a seamless thing. You keep using that word seamless because I've watched, different versions of the band, and it's like a good gumbo recipe, You just throw in all the right stuff, and it just tastes right, each and every time. Another thing too, this is something that a lot of people don't have. You guys have a label. Back in the days, where not lately, the last 20 years or so, nobody has a label. You guys have a label. So I mean,
yeah. Well, we put out a couple of records on our own, because we just have. Fortunately, ever since the beginning, we never wanted to be assholes. You know what I mean? So. We've always just trying to be really grateful and really.
I'm waiting to go for someplace with that.
And so, we get a lot of support in anything we've done. So when we put out our records, we had distributors. Oh, we'd love to put out Little Caesar records, and we got a very, very loyal fan base all over the world. It's not huge, but they're loyal. And on this last record, we hooked up, with Golden Robot, and they're out of Australia, and they're really trying to expand the label. They just got John Sykes. They're putting out King's X. They got Derek Schulman, the great A&R guy, working for the label. And so we were kind of shocked when they approached us. And, their attitude was just, well, just do what you do and send us, the record. And we did, and they loved it, and they have a great publicity department, which I'm shocked, and like you say, and not many bands get that going for them anymore. So, and we just signed with a new management company working with Scotty Ludwig at Status Global Management, who's got LA Guns and Junkyard and Jet Boy and Enough's Enough. And so we fit right in there. You know, we've always had because we came from LA in the 80s. You know, like tonight when they said, "Come see Little Caesar," the glam metal vets, and it's like we're not glam metal, but
No silver pants on these guys, man.
But at least they're talking about us positively, even
Right.
if it's a little off base.
Right.
But you know, we had that sort of label hung on us because we are playing with the Poisons and all those bands coming out of LA, and so it's just kind of funny. It's like they always misspell the name, they always mislabel the music, but hey, at least they're writing about us. So we're grateful.
Well, yeah, and they also, everybody also mentions that stupid, really bad pizza chain too, you know, at the same time, and all this other crap that they do. But I do remember when you guys were playing that scene, again, all these bands, they all looked like girls, and they were all singing all these poppy songs. You guys came in, the first gig that I saw you guys, we thought you were the road crew, because you moved in, you moved your own equipment, you did your own sound check, there was no road crew, and then you came up and you did these soulful, rockin', just killer songs, and I fell in love with the band the first time I saw you guys. And it's just, going back to the label real quick, we forgot to mention, it's Golden Robot Records, and they're based out of Australia. Correct. So, dude, how did you know, again, Australia, you know, for like an American rock band.
Angel City, I mean, Rose Tattoo, and actually Rose Tattoo's on the label. So
Are they really? Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's great.
We got our fingers crossed to go there.
Yeah.
We want to go down under. Dude,
So, you know, that would be.
Oh, you do?
Wow. Which now means a whole new thing, right? You know, now that we're seasoned, as they would say. The record 8, again, it's one of those just old school rock and roll. If you guys have not heard it, Golden Robot Records, man, you can find it. It's just called the number 8. You know, you look for like an 8-ball, this kind of 8-ball, like the one that you use as with a stick at a table.
Under, we got 8 balls. What year is this?
It is. Is it 1989 again or what? You know, it's a great thing. Then tonight, you know, they got a great triple bill. They're doing a thing with Black Star amps tonight, and Jared James Nichols is playing. He's doing a thing with Black Star amps, which you guys are involved in, and then you guys, and then Gilby Clark. So it's like the perfect old school rock and roll thing right here in Anaheim, and it's just, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
All really good guys.
Yeah,
you know, so
you
it's
know?
just fun hanging out with them, and we all come from that same school of worshiping, you know, the Stones and blues and all that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the glue that holds everybody together, you know. It's like particular songs. Tom, do you got a favorite song on the record, and if so, why?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Well, sorry, dude.
You know, he's a drummer.
Yeah, well, you know.
Careful.
I really like the ballad. Time Enough for That.
Which was the first single, by the way, which was an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think we just sort of felt that, you know, getting into this like antiquated thinking about we got to lead with a rock track, and you know, in this day and age, we've put out enough people pretty much know what we're doing, and it was one of the stronger tracks, so it just made sense to go with that first. But
and again, not following the rules, man. You know, that's what you guys are all about, right?
yeah, and it came together like really organically with Lauren and Pharaoh, the three of us kind of. I mean, it just flowed from the get-go. It wasn't like one of those songs where you really need to work at it. And we knew the minute we were jamming on it, like, well, this is really a good song. And it's got a great message. It's simple, and, you know, seems to go over well when we play it, so.
Perfect explanation right there. That's where I was going, man. You explained it perfectly. So, Lauren, how about you? Is there a favorite track, and if so, why?
Yeah, I love the single just because of the message, you know. But then I love the cover. When Ron said, "Oh, the Merle Haggard," Lauren, you know, can you work up something like Social D doing Merle Haggard? And I sort of came up with a riff, and we worked it up, and I love that. I can relate to those lyrics to that, you know. And
once again, they were using Little Caesarized it, you know. It's a Merle Haggard, Mama Tried, the classic from Merle Haggard, and these guys again Little Caesarized that record, and it just works, man. It's one of my favorite tracks off the record, even though it's a cover, you know. It's great. It's perfectly done, you know. I couldn't have thought of a better way to do it. So I'm glad.
You know, I think all of us have tortured our moms, you know, and you know, Mama's tried, you know. My mom tried to get me to be a doctor doctor or lawyer, but I said, fuck that. I'm going to New York, try to play some rock and roll, you know? Mama tried. God bless her.
Mark, does that hold true for you too? Tell us about, tracks on the record that you really are above and beyond, or maybe put in a little bit more on one than the other.
The track Vegas, the opening track,
That's got the best hook I thought I've heard. Like when you guys first came out.
Yeah, it's the one. Yeah, I mean, it caught me right away, and I was like, "This is the shit right here." And it was one of the. I think it was the first song I came in and played a solo on too. So I'm connected to it for that too. So yeah, definitely dig that.
Cool, Farrell. How about you, dude?
I agree with all of that, but I think Morning also sticks in my head like crazy. Like once you hear that chorus, it's like I can't wait for you. It just sticks with you. But there's like a good 5 or 6 songs on that in particular that are all like really on my favorites list. But definitely all of those and Morning. So.
Cool. Well, and you know what? I got to say, too, I can't really pick out a favorite because I really, it's one of those records where I like every single track that's on it, man. So, I'm a guy that's a big Little Caesar fan. How does that say? A big Little Caesar fan? Yeah. But,
and don't bash our pizza, dude.
That's not pizza. That's a freaking stadium cushion with ketchup on it, dude. That's not a pizza.
Quick funny story.
Okay.
Every week, and today,
right,
I get a letter on the Little Caesar Facebook page. Hey man, your pizza sucks. And it came and it was supposed to have all this meats on it, and there was only like 2 slices. And I'm like, dude, we're a rock and roll band. What about our Facebook page did you think?
Did you read it?
They just typed in Little Caesar, went to message, and I go back and forth with these people. Like,
just to fuck with them.
Well, yeah, like if you're that fucking stupid, well, so I'm like, well, listen, come down here, and we'll have it out, So show up. First guy behind the counter, that's me. Right. Just fucking deck him. If you can knock me out, it's just stuff like that. But again, it keeps us humble.
Sure. And it keeps people like going, oh, there's a rock band called Little Caesar. So again, it's like no bad publicity is bad publicity. Bad publicity is still publicity, right?
Yeah, especially if a guy at a pizza place gets beat up for us. But but I do agree, it's not pizza. No, but
definitely not even close.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is when we picked the name of the band, I came up with it, and it's after the Edward G. Robinson gangster film. Right. But there was no Little Caesar's pizza chain in California. Right. And Geffen, our label at the time, we were like a week away from releasing. Everything was printed and everything else, and they're like, there's a national pizza chain with the name Little Caesar. And we're like, you're telling us this now? How long have you known? Oh, like 6 months. And we're like, well, let's change it to like Domino's or something.
I remember seeing, because I came from Michigan, right? And I said it to you, and you did say to me, you go, well, if you don't like pizza, you don't like fucking Little Caesar then. And I went, all right, I buy into the name. So if you don't like pizza, you ain't gonna dig us.
And the other funny thing is the first time we went out on tour, we went out on tour before the record came out, and we were out touring, oddly enough, with like Jane's Addiction, which is a very weird. Wow. But anyway, we jumped off and did our own show. The first show that we did on tour. It says tonight, Little Caesar, and they were having a free pizza giveaway. This said Little Caesar, free pizza. And we were just like, we're cursed. We're cursed. First show.
Well, now that we've gone through those guys, we're giving them plenty of promo right there. As far as I'm concerned, don't eat that stuff. Trust me. Don't eat it, all right? Listen to the band. Exactly. It's much more satisfying in every possible way. Again, I've said this a million times. You are my favorite band out of LA that's ever been since I've lived here anyway. So,
we're very grateful for your support all these years and your friendship.
Sure. Absolutely. Because you go through these things with different people. I talk with a lot of musicians. I talk with a lot of bands. But there's I keep circling back to you guys. Now, another thing I want to get into is you were talking about touring. You guys have done a really cool thing behind this album. You've gone and played really small, shitty little places where you're basically up front with the band at every show. They basically got their, if it was, tall people, their nuts would be right in front of you because you're Little Caesar.
Now you know our secret.
Well, is that why? I love the fact that you said you wanted to get back to the nitty gritty.
You just said, when you get a tall guy, and I'm short, and his nuts are right here,
Right.
I can say they're nuts over me. And that's really, if people are nuts over the band,
It's like sex with a midget, man.
There you go.
But I love the fact that, again, you brought it down. You could play bigger places, but you played these places where you're right up front, and it's a good, sweaty rock and roll show the way that it's supposed to, you know?
Well,
it's like,
yeah, because we wanted to like go to the Redwood, downtown LA, just some really kind of like CBGB type places in LA, and play some smaller rooms just to.
and tonight, dude, you're playing at this great big brand new House of Blues in Anaheim, but they're playing in the Parish Room, which is a lot more intimate, you know? And it sounds great in that place, you know, and you can get right up front. There's not a big rise on the stage or anything like that, and you can get right in people's faces. And it's just, that's the way to me to go see a really good rock band. And you guys, the fact that you could play bigger places but choose to do something like this, I think it's just a really cool thing.
Well, you know, what we learned, like when we went over to Europe and we're doing these small venues, and, you know, live music is dying. A lot of people aren't going out to see bands. They'll stream, people watch it from like Facebook Live and stuff. But when we go out and do our own shows, we thank the audience for coming. We thank them for being part of the music, because like in Time Enough for that moment, the moment in a live venue that night is a magical moment, because will never happen again. And the energy between the audience and what that does to us musically and comes out of us is an interaction. And to us, it's precious, you know, and we're really grateful for it. And we try to exude that and let the crowd know that they are part of the show. Yeah. And so that they're not feeling like they're coming and they're just, you know, their job is to worship us. Yeah. Their job's to just try to feel the music, and we do everything we can to get that for them, you know?
Well, you heard it from me. If my attitude means anything to the people that are watching this right now, this is a real rock band. This is a band that you will fall in love with if you either not only just by listening, but going to see them, getting to know them. These guys, there's no bullshit, man. You're gonna see what you're gonna get, and you're gonna love it. And there's no rock star attitude, which we hate. We hate it. These are the guys, but you have to talk to them before the show, because as soon as that show is done, they're gone. They're out of here. They're not going to be snorting lines off of chicks' asses. Not that there's anything wrong with that. After the show, you know, they're gone. You know, this is grown-ups that are doing this truly because they like this. They love what they do, and it shows.
Actually, after every show, we go out and we shake hands and we thank people. We sign autographs, because not only is the musical interaction great, but to go out and talk to our fans who have been fans for, you know, since the day we were together. Yeah. And every one of them has got a story as to what our music means to them, and they've played it at weddings, or somebody played.
You guys have played at weddings,
right? We drive out to Vegas for a buddy of ours from Germany. But to hear those stories, to know that our music is woven into the fabric of people's lives, there's no award or record sales or anything, because I know what that feels like. I can close my eyes and hear a Bad Company song or a Zeppelin song or that reminds me of something I did with my buddies in high school or whatever. So to hear those kind of things, that's an added blessing. So we go out after the shows and we hang out for as long as people want to hang out, sign whatever they want signed, and just not charge them $125 for the privilege.
Occasionally give them an interview on a really nice table in front of a you know, just a nice place, you know.
Yeah.
But okay, so is it littlecaesartheband.com? Because we don't want you guys looking them up and ordering like some really bad pizza.
I think we have littlecaesar.net. We got that, you know. I think about 6 months after Al Gore invented the internet, I called him up and I asked him if we could get that. And again, this is where we also get some hate mail because their dough sticks weren't having enough cheese. But whatever. Buy a shirt, order a pizza, whatever.
Well, you can also find them on Facebook and all the social media places too.
Instagram.
So, you know, and of course Golden Robots Records, which is based out of Australia. I don't know whether is it something. Australia, AUS.
.Barbie or .mate or .mate. I think it's
.g'day.
Good day. Yeah. I think it's just goldenrobots.
Yeah, so just look at-
goldenrobotrecords.com.
Let's look them up, and then come see them when they come to a town near you. Big touring plans for this year, perhaps? Are you going back to Europe again?
I don't think so this year. Just, the guy who we love that we work with over there, he's really busy. We got stuff going on in our lives and stuff, and it didn't sync up, so that's why we're going to focus on like hitting Miami and Tampa, or hitting Boston and New York, or all these places in the States that we can jump on a plane. For us, it's not about the money. It's just about getting out there and making music. So if we can get out there and just break even and have a wild weekend with folks in Detroit or Boston or New York or any of these great towns, that's what we're going to be focusing on this year, and to get back to the people here in the States that we haven't seen in quite a while.
And up close and personal, too. So, again, I can't thank you guys enough for talking with us here at VintageRock.com. You always got a home, and they're going to go and rock tonight. So if you happen to be, well, I don't know by the time this video comes out, but, again, go get Little Caesar 8, the record. Go look up their Little Caesar 8, the record. That didn't sound right, did it? And that's another food reference again. So the record is called 8, the number 8, okay? And it's Little Caesar. And again, check out their back catalog too. They got a lot of really, really great music that I know.
There's 7 other records.
Yeah, there's 7 other. Imagine that.
Besides 8.
What a coincidence. Go go check it out, man, because I'm telling you, this is great music for great rock and rollers, and that's what we try to give to you at VintageRock.com. Again, this is Junkman and Little Caesar.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So, and it's VintageRock.com at NAMM 2019.